Thanks for tuning in live on Proline TV for another thoroughbred horse racing video. As we take a look at the Preakness Stakes from Pimlico, we're also going to take a look at the Black Eyed Susan, which will be on Friday. Thanks a lot for joining us. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. And we appreciate all of that. And that can help to contribute to the program and everything else going on with the channel. How's it going, John?
Good, Greg. How are you?
I'm doing okay. I like doing these earlier in the week shows, even if it's just a day early. Yeah. It's nice to get them out of the way. It's nice to get a head start. All that stuff is awesome. Do we have a weather forecast, though? I know the weather forecast kind of sucks every time we talk about it. Either way.
It's supposed to rain basically all week until Saturday, and who knows? We'll see how it is.
Okay. So.
I mean, they're calling for chance of rain on Saturday.
Oh, geez. What is it, Baltimore?
Yes, sir.
Baltimore. And how often have you been to Pimlico?
I was there twice.
Last time?
About 4 years ago.
Oh, okay. What do you think about it?
It's fine.
Nothing special?
No.
Okay. All right. Let's see.
They're doing it over. It's going to be nice when they're done with it. So.
Oh, they are?
Yeah.
And have they not redone it for like a long time?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's good to know.
Yeah.
Let's see. Friday, AM thunderstorms. Saturday, AM clouds, no rain. So that's good, which basically means it'll rain on Saturday if they're giving us but then again, this is the Weather Channel and not, or the weather.com and not a local Baltimore station. I guess I should have tried that out, even though it didn't go so well the first time. But hey, it's Baltimore as opposed to Louisville. So, but anyway, we'll let you know if there's any impact on our handicapping regarding any of the horses' off-track history, because you always should add that in there if there's a possibility of rain. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. First of all, what we're going to do is thank, because I forgot to thank him on the last show, Michael No God, because Michael was very appreciative of having a big day on Derby Day, and he went ahead and donated $25 to Super Thanks. And so we appreciate that, Michael. Matter of fact, here it is. So everybody wants to know what it looks like. This is actually from the Kentucky Derby show. So it would pop up like this. So if you're in the comment section and you see this, this is somebody donating to the channel. And you see, he just said thanks. You can say whatever. It's sort of like you could leave your own comment, say whatever you want, just donate. And again, it could be $1. You can donate anything you like, or don't donate at all. Anyway, so I opened up the reply to thank Michael, and he said, especially hitting the Super in the Derby. So Michael had a really good day, and he was very appreciative. And we thank Michael for the $20 donation. So. All right. So that's Michael No God. That's a very interesting moniker. Now, let's take a look at a couple of the comments, or just mention them, because our recent comments this past week were from Roshank Kurakozy. This is the person you know, right, John? This is someone that does that. Roshank Kurakozy.
I don't know.
Okay. Anyway, I could have sworn that you knew this person, or you know who this was, or maybe you knew how to pronounce it. Maybe, who knows? Maybe it was Chad. John knows his horses. The man knows the game and the owners. That's Roshank Kurakozy. That sounds better. And Anthony Ciavatella, a great show. So those were a couple of the comments from last week. And we appreciate all the comments, anything at all. Matter of fact, another winner at the Pat Day Mile. Boy, it came that close, John, from a much bigger winner. The long shot wasn't able to hold on.
You mean the Bluegrass?
The Peter Pan.
I mean the Peter Pan, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, the horse. We like McAfee, who was, I think, maybe 8 or 10.
Yeah. Yep.
And he looked like a winner. He
did.
Oh, we did give out the exactas, so.
So what did you think about this news The Junior Alvarado news.
It's the most ridiculous thing in the world. It is stupid. It is so stupid. On the biggest day of the year, it was a total success. They set every record as far as gambling is concerned, as far as TV is concerned, as far as attendance is concerned. And what do they come up with? That the horse was hit 2 more times than he was allowed to. It's 1.25 miles. It's a 20-horse field. Biggest race the guy will ever ride in. Biggest race the horse will be in for the time being. And they're worried about counting whips. Not only that, here's the problem. The way it was presented in media afterwards, if you saw the headlines, it says, Jockey of Derby won a banned. Banned. He was banned. He was suspended for 2 days. And it's 2 days because it's his second infraction within 180 days. He was also fined $62,000, which is totally ridiculous. Anybody that knows anything knows that these whips do not hurt horses. They literally make a popping noise. They're like Nerf balls. You know those they're like sponges.
Yep.
So it's totally blown out of proportion. People that aren't really familiar with horse racing and see headlines like that, it scares the hell out of them. It was just such a bad thing they did. But what are you going to do? The only good news is hopefully they'll change the rules because they were now exposed to how stupid they were to give this penalty out on a race like the Derby. It's just silly.
Right here is one of those titles. Junior Alvarado denies he abused sovereignty with whip.
Listen, if they're worried about that, what they should do is go back to the barn the following morning, examine the horses, see if they have any welts on them or anything. And then if they do, then go ahead and find the jockey. Right? Doesn't that make a little more sense?
Sure. I agree.
And where they came up with an arbitrary number like 6, I have no idea. Should you be allowed only 6 whips in a 1.25 mile race and be allowed only the 6 whips in a 5 furlong race? Doesn't make any sense.
5's okay though.
Yeah, 5 is 5's a little better than 4, but not quite as much as 7. Please.
No, not 7. Yeah,
it's just
typical.
shows the stupidity of the game. That's why I can't wait to retire, and that's coming.
Oh. Okay. Well, I don't know if
we may make it to Breeders' Cup, and after that, it's going to be hang-up time probably. But we'll talk about it. Let's see what happens.
Okay. So other than that, Junior only has to worry about what? So he can't go to Churchill for 2 days or something like that.
He's suspended 2 days, I guess.
Yeah. At Churchill though, so it's
anyway,
like
it's a general, penalty. You can't ride anywhere, I guess.
I thought it said Churchill.
No.
Oh, really? It's everywhere?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I thought I saw it was just Churchill, but you might be right.
I might be right. I am.
Sometimes you're more right than I am. It does happen.
Not on many things, but when it comes to horse racing, probably.
Let's see. We've got some. Here's some weather forecast. Maurice Campbell. Thanks, Maurice. 30% chance. That means 100%.
All day Saturday, not even like a little bit. But it's stopping about 3. That's good because the race is probably about 6. So.
Mark Lawrence, straight from the dungeon. He's working on that Playbook 2025 football publication. He barely gets time to eat, sleep, and text. And here he is taking his time out of his busy day to ask you about crab cakes.
I'm allergic to shellfish, so I don't know. Sorry.
Oh, okay. Well, we've got a big audience of fans who might have been to Baltimore and Pimlico. So if anybody out there has had crab cakes.
That's what they're famous for, their crab cakes. That's true.
Very nice. Also, Jeff Hockman, who, by the way, was a guest on our show earlier today. So Jeff is a handicapper for Playbook Sports at playbooksports.com. And Jeff has had his prediction. So I'm going to hold his prediction here. I'm not going to let John know what it is until later.
Don't let me know.
No.
He's a good handicapper, though. I'll tell you that much.
All right. So that's what's going on around the world of thoroughbred racing. Great news heading into the Preakness
Well, the biggest news of the week is that journalism is going to run back. That should have been your headline.
What about that?
Not Junior Alvarado hitting a horse 2 more times with a puff ball.
So yeah, that was surprising.
I was shocked, honestly.
I mean, why? Not why you're shocked, but why do this?
I have no idea. I mean, it makes no sense to me, but we'll discuss it when we get to the race.
Yeah, because we have to start off, first of all, with the Black-Eyed Susan. And I know this is supposed to be, you've got like the fillies, and they have all these races, the Oaks prep races the same weeks as the Derby prep races, and we follow all that. But how come, and I'm assuming this is the same thing that happens with the Oaks situation, because it just seems to me when we do these Black-Eyed Susan races, the horses are just not all, it's not like there's like a lot of great horses.
Well, these are fillies, and fillies are usually slower than the colts to begin with. Not only that, the good ones probably already ran and before the Derby, right? So they're not going to bring fillies back on 2 weeks. That would be totally insane. So these are the horses that didn't quite make it, and maybe a notch below at this point. They're lightly raced horses. Obviously, in a year from now, we'll know which ones are better. But the Oaks horses, the Oaks field was a better field than this field.
Yeah, it's usually the case. But hey, we got a big one. So there'll be a lot of money on this race. This is going to be on Friday at 5:44.
By the way, Friday, I think they have 5 stakes. And on Saturday, I believe they have 9 stake races. So there's, it's going to be a good card. Yes,
a lot better than next week's card, because
next week there is no card.
Yeah, next week is like the first time. It's usually this is like 2 or 3 times a year where there's no graded stakes races anywhere. So we're going to leave that out to our viewers. Let us know during this program, get your head start, or let us know, of course, if you're watching on demand, put a comment section and let us know what races next week. Give us a couple of races you'd like to see us handicap, because we're going to be searching. So maybe there's a race we're not thinking about. Aqueduct, Churchill, Santa, Anita. Those are the 3 main tracks, it looks like, that you'll have to choose from. But as John said, on Saturday, you've got the 2 grade 1s, 4 grade 2s, and 3 grade 3s. No, I'm not looking at that right. I was including the other one. I think there are 5. Are there 5 total stakes races, I believe? Oh, and how weird is it, John, to have the grade 1 race after the Preakness?
The grade 1, that's not thoroughbreds. That's not a grade 1. Those are Arabian horses. Is that what you're talking about?
The 14th race?
Yeah.
Arabian horses.
Yes. Those are not thoroughbreds.
Oh, the UAE?
Yes. No, they're going to run at Pimlico, but they are.
So, is that like one of those group 1 things that I'm mistaking for grade 1?
Probably.
Okay.
I mean, listen, look what all these horses earned. Not very much money. I don't really think this is a grade 1. It's probably a group 1 UAE President's Cup. It's Arabian horses. They're not thoroughbreds. We don't even have numbers.
Arabian horses.
We don't have numbers on these horses. There's no sheets on them. Did you notice?
No. See, it says it up here. It says UAE President's Cup grade 1.
Okay.
Why do they confuse us like that then? If they're Arabian, I mean, do they actually? What is this, grade 1 for the Arabian series or something?
I guess so.
Well, come on.
I don't pay any attention to
Well,
this.
not to you, to them. Come on.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I have enough things going on in my life. I need to be confused by Arabian horses.
It's after the Preakness.
I know. That's why
he's going to bed after the Preakness.
Yeah, I know. That's why it stuck out to me. But you also have the Pimlico Special and the Miss Preakness on Friday. That is before the Black-Eyed Susan. So let's get into the Black-Eyed Susan. Let's go ahead and pop that sucker up, the entries. And here we go. All right. So we have the favorite. Actually, you've got the 4 is the favorite, and that is Running and Gunning at 5-2. The 3 is next at 3-1, and then the 8 after that at 4-1. And I have to start right off the bat here, John. and go, what on earth is the 4 doing at 5-2?
The 4 is 5-2 because of the last race she's coming out of. She last ran in the Fantasy, which is a grade 2. So she ran, she's been keeping better company in the last couple of races. She's been in stake races, her last 3 races, and she's actually won 2 of them. That being said, she has 0 chance on Friday.
0.
0.
A 5-2 shot has 0 chance. So you heard it here.
In my opinion, I mean, obviously anything could happen, but
Sure.
In my opinion, she has 0 chance.
Okay, that's what I want to hear. All right, let's start at the top with the 1, Liam in the Dust, a 6-1 shot. This is an interesting horse because of the fact that she's had 2 really bad races, but the other races, let's just say you remove those clunkers. And a lot of times we'd like to restrict to just 1. But let's just say we remove the 46 and the 31. Obviously, some really weird stuff happened there. So if we remove those weird races, the horse and the other 5 just kept getting better. 20, 18, 17, 16, 14. So that's the thing that I'm keeping an eye on. I mean, I'd probably prefer a little bit better than 6-1, but I think the horse is interesting.
The problem I have with this horse is, well, the good news is she certainly likes an off track because her last race, the 14, was running the slop. The problem I have with the 14, though, is it looks like a Lasix pop to me. She got Lasix last time for the first time, and she obviously jumped way up and ran a new top. Now, on Friday, she'll be coming off of Lasix, and she's off of the top. And at 6-1, I don't think it's a long enough price. So for that reason, I'm playing against her. But she's not impossible.
Yeah, I mean, I at least like the fact that even before the Lasix, she was getting better each time out, with the exception of, what do you think? Was there anything that stuck out with those 2 bad races?
Well, the race 2 starts back, she may have bled in, and not only that, it was a slow track. You see the sideward dots. It was just one of those crazy tracks at Aqueduct that are real deep. And then the 46 that she ran last year, well, it was off of an 18 with no rest. So she bounced, I guess. I don't know, but that's the cases. That's the excuses I'm giving her.
All right, I'll buy it. Okay, next up, the 2, Princess Elia, and this is a Dwayne Lucas horse, typical, because all you have to do is, if you take a look at we're going to be talking about American Promise, and it's like the same thing over again with Lucas, he's just hammering these horses, just keep going, just keep going, just put her out there. This is going to be her 7th race this year, and also the first race where she's only got a week off. So that's a hell of a combo. The only good thing is that even though she's been like up and down over her last 5, she should be due for an up. But I'd rather go with the fact that she's on her 7th race with a week off only. That's not good. That's not good. But she's 15-1.
Yeah, but she does have an alternating line. Good race, bad race, good race, bad race. It's time for the good race. But listen, I never knock 15-1 shots. If someone wants to play the horse, go ahead. The horses also has 2 races on a wet track with a 1 and a 3rd, so she doesn't mind the water. But I just think like you do here. I think it's too much too soon, and for that reason, I would try to play against her.
Margie's Intention is a 3-1 shot, so this is the second morning line choice. You've got Cox and Pratt combo, first race after Brendan Walsh, but there's no big deal there. These are 2 excellent trainers. The numbers looked really good before the last race because she kept going the right way. 22, 16, 14, 12 this year. She did bounce a little bit last race to 14. All of the races on Lasix, now coming off for the first time. Training changers. Yeah, trainer change. And no value at 3-1.
Well, she's a lot more value than the 4 is at 5-2. I think
that's true. 100%.
I think this horse can't lose. That's just my opinion.
So we have a can't lose and a no chance in the race.
The no chance is more likely than the can't lose.
Okay. All right. I like it.
No chance means that, not 8 other horses could beat her, but can't lose means she has to beat all the other 8 horses.
Yeah,
So
that's a little harder.
I just like this horse. I love the way she worked her way down to the 12, 2 starts back. The 2-point bounce with no rest is fine. Now Cox has had her for a while. She's going to run a 10. If you think someone in the race is running better than a 10, let me know. That horse will beat this horse. But I don't see it. I think she's going to run the 10, and I think she's going to win.
Yeah, I mean, basically, that's the deal, is that I think the only thing that I don't like, well, the 2 things I don't like are just the fact that first time off Lasix and no value. But yeah, you compare the numbers to all the other horses, including the 5-2 shot, and nobody's got those numbers. So, they're all, matter of fact, 3 of them are 14 or less. And just briefly running through here, nobody has anything like that. Okay, that's the 3. John's top pick, can't lose. Here's no shot. So can't lose, followed by no shot, running and gunning, Asmussen Ortiz.
I really shouldn't say that because people, may take it like what I'm saying.
Yeah, just relax, everybody out there. All right, just relax.
I mean, I'm just
let it be comical.
Okay, well, listen, that's just my opinion. I don't think running and gunning has a chance. But again, not off of the figures. But again, horses jump up, and it's Steve Asmussen. So, and you're getting Ortiz and everything else. So anything is possible.
Anything's possible.
This horse offers 0 value at 5.
None.
That's all I'm saying. She could win. But I just don't like her.
Yeah, I mean, I think. Just quickly looking, I believe so far it's working. Yes, every single horse in this race has a better top than the 4.
Right. So the 4 is due to run the new top, but why predict a new top on
That's
a
what
horse?
you're doing. Yes.
Why predict a new top on a horse that's a favorite?
That's 5-2. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I would have liked to. This would have been like a nice little 10-1 shot.
Yeah, exactly.
That's nice, but 5-2. Heck no. All right. Kinsey Queen is the 10-1 5. And she's run on. Here's the interesting thing, of course. She's run on Lasix 4 times in the last 5 races. And the only race she didn't, she ran a 20.
The worst race in the whole group. The worst race that she's run in her life. Well, last year. This year, this is the worst race she's ever run was 2 starts back without Lasix. So, and not only that, she's now coming off of a 12.
Yes.
So
on top of that.
Right.
She has a very short period of time.
She has bounce written all over her. The only reason I would be interested in using this horse is because of the 10-1, and she'll probably go off a lot longer than that.
Yeah. And she is 6 out of 8 in the money on fast dirt tracks, if it's fast and dirt. Okay. I mean, fast. Okay. The 6 is Paris Lily. So you have Brendan Walsh and Rosario combo. Rosario just jumped on board last time, went wire to wire. And that was a 15. The unfortunate thing, though, looking at the horses, is that her best 2 races were the only 2 races that she ran on Lasix, a 16 and a 15.
That's true, but she's 3 years old. So if you look at her sheet, she really has never gone backwards. And there's nothing that indicates to us that if she wasn't on Lasix, either of her last.
And she's 8-1.
Exactly. That's why I'm using this horse underneath. Not only that, the 15 is on a wet track that she ran last time out. So that's a lot of positives for me. And I like the 8-1.
Yeah, keep an eye. Hey, you know what? Especially, who knows, if it's raining on Saturday.
Well, there certainly will be moisture in the track.
7 is Reply. So this is a 8-1 shot. Is that 8 or 6?
8.
8. So you've got Alvarado Jr. on board. All right. So I've got to ask you I kind of guess I know where you're going here, but I have to ask it. So when you have pairs, and we have pairs for the first time in the first 2 races, is that anything?
Yeah, she's going to run a 14, maybe even a little better.
So that's still a positive, even though it's only the first 2.
Well, that's all you could judge off of what you see. Correct.
Okay.
I mean, there's nothing that tells us she won't be running 10s in 3 months from now and pair them up then. But now
Okay.
she's coming in off the 16.
All right. I wanted to know that before I made my
What
decision.
interests me about this horse is that she won her first start at Colonial Downs, and right after breaking her maiden, they threw her right into a stake race. So that's certainly a positive sign. They thought enough of the horse that in career start number 2 to run her in a stake race. Brittany Russell does a terrific job. Her husband, Sheldon Russell, was riding the horse, and now he gets off, and they put Irad Ortiz on. So, I understand it's husband and wife, but Irad Ortiz is a lot better than Sheldon Russell, and take nothing away from Sheldon Russell. He's a terrific rider, but, Irad Ortiz is in the top 3 or 4 riders in the country. So.
All right. And then we have the 8, Amarth, a 4-1 shot. So I like Amarth. I don't like the 4-1, but I like Amarth because you've got the 2 15s. So we're expecting.
It was 15 and minus 15 and a quarter. So it's not a true pair if that's what you're looking for.
Oh, now you're going to throw in the minuses and pluses?
If you're doing it, you might as well do it the right way. That's
okay. All right. Anyway, 4-1. That's the thing. That's the bummer. But what do you think about Amarth?
Yeah, I mean, at 4-1, I think you have much better options in the race, to tell you the truth.
And the 9, Moon Cash. Okay, so Moon Cash changed trainers a couple of starts ago and then ran her best 2 races, an 18 and a 15. The 15, though, might be a bounce, so there's that. Even though she has improved over her last 4 races. This is sort of like what we were even talking, like if we were like sort of like we were going with the 4. Exactly. It's like, hey, she's improving over her last 3 or 4 races, 20-1. Hey, okay, I'll take a chance. It's almost like seeing the 9 at 5-2 and going, what in the world is this horse doing at 5-2? But I'll play the 9 because of that, even though she might bounce because it's a big number and I'm trying to make some money.
I agree with everything you said. I'm using her underneath and exactas also. So I'm using the 3 Margie's Intention on top of the 5 Kinsey Queen, the 6 Paris Lily. I made a mistake. I'm sorry. I'm using the 3 on top of the 6, 7, and 9. 3 over the 6, 7, and 9.
Okay.
So that's a Margie's Intention over Paris Lily, Reply, and Moon Cachet. 3 over 6, 7, 9. And you?
I'm gonna put it all on Can't Lose.
Whoa.
No, I'm gonna put it all on. No, okay, yeah. Actually, I am doing the 3. That's to go. That's Can't Lose. I'm definitely not playing No Shot. Meanwhile, I'll go ahead and do 7 and 9. Oh, with the 1. I'm going to do 1, 7, 9 with the 3. You're going to do 6, 7, 9 with the 3. And that is the Black-Eyed Susan. That's
so you have 3 with 1, 7, 9? Is that what
correct?
Okay.
So the only difference we have is you have the 6 and I have the 7. The 1.
Okay, no problem.
All right. So that's that. Black-Eyed Susan in the books. Now we are going to talk about the big race.
Drum roll, please.
The weekend. Let's see here. Hold on 1 second. And well, yeah, I guess I'm gonna have to get that, don't I? I don't have that.
What?
I do. I have Rimshot.
Oh, okay.
But I don't have. I gotta write that down.
This show needs a drum roll, please. What are you?
Drum roll and a whip. I should have had the whip effect. Yes. That would have been perfect for earlier in this show, but hey, I snoozed, I loosed.
That's okay. What happens when you go live.
That's true. I could have said, all right, time out. I'll edit this through. All right, so now it's time to talk about the Preakness Stakes. And this is leg number 2 of the Triple Crown. There is no Triple Crown winner this year. And so let's take a look at this race, 1 mile and 3/16. And this should go off around 7 o'clock on Saturday. And we have the morning line favorite, Journalism, at 8-5. So yes, we can start talking about that now. It really just very surprising.
Why don't we start with the 1 horse and we'll work our way through, no?
Okay, we could do that. Let's go ahead and go through the field. It's only a 9-horse field. I certainly hope nobody scratches. I hate these. This is what I was talking about the other day. The Preakness I don't understand why more horses or more trainers, owners don't like look at this Preakness and go, hey man, this is a great opportunity, 2 weeks rest, and I can go in 5 or 6 weeks rest with a good horse and try to win this race. I don't know. That's why I'm surprised it's always a smaller field. I would always expect like 12
well, the
horses.
Derby is 20 horses, and then after the Derby, it kind of unless you win the Derby, there's no point to running this race. But when we get to the journalism, we'll talk about it. Anyway, Goal Oriented is an interesting horse for one reason. He actually ran on Derby Day on the undercard, so he's technically coming back on.
Yeah.
He's technically coming back on 2 weeks rest also.
Yes.
I don't like this horse at all.
No.
The 8 first out sprinting is fine. The 11 was a 3-point bounce. But what is Baffert doing bringing this horse back?
He wants to be in the Preakness.
Yeah, okay. Well, he's more likely to run a 13 or 14 than he is to make a forward move. And a 13 or 14 gets you nothing.
Yeah, he didn't even race. So he raced. This will be the first time off Lasix. Doesn't even race in a stakes race of any kind.
Well, he only has 2 lifetime starts. He broke his maiden, and then he ran him in an allowance race,
Yeah.
But
when these things happen, is this? I know this isn't planned. This is like one of those situations where some horses just aren't ready, and then you can only start them at a certain date.
They may have paid a lot of money for this horse. I'm sure they did. It's one of Baffert's better owners. Obviously, the horse needed time getting to the races. Horses have setbacks all the time, and something went wrong, and they started the horse late. He ran April was his first start, April 6th. Knowing that the Derby is a month away from that. So he wasn't going from that race into the Derby. He had no points. All that being said, he does get Pratt, and it is Baffert, and he's speed from the rail. But I don't see him moving forward. I think he has to make a backward move.
Okay. Who is, let me pop this up. So who, on the Louisiana bred. Okay. So who was Art's talking about? The Louisiana bred?
I don't get to read any. I don't know what
I like the outside. This was the last race we did, I guess. One of them was a Louisiana bred. That which one was that, Art?
I'll go back and I'll tell you if you wait a second.
Louisiana bred.
Louisiana bred was.
I could have been playing some sound effects here. Here, I'll play a sound effect.
Okay.
Making everybody wait while we're doing this.
The Louisiana bred is the horse we like, the Can't Lose.
Oh, there you go. Margie's Intention. Okay, so we're on. We're with you there, Art.
Art agrees with us.
All right, and then what was that other thing? Let me get that. There it is. Jimmy's Seafood and Costa's Inn for the best crab cakes, says Jim Waterfield.
Free advertisement for Jimmy.
Yes, that's right. He's probably the owner.
Yeah, it's Jimmy Jones.
Jim Waterfield. There you go. All right.
I agree with Jimmy.
So all we have to do, Jimmy, is go to the restaurant, and we get it for free. Is that it?
You heard about it on Proline TV or whatever.
That's it. You might as well say yes, because it's not going to happen. So I'm not going to Baltimore just yet. I'd like to. All right. The 2 is journalism. So, all right. Yeah. So what was the thinking here?
I have no idea what the thinking was. I really don't. I'm actually surprised. Obviously they think the horse is fine, and they wouldn't be running the horse unless he was fine. I mean, it would be a disaster if, God forbid, something happened to this horse. Listen, there's no question about it. He's the best horse in the race. But on Saturday, he won't be the best horse in the race. If you had to buy stock in any horse in this field, you would probably be buying stock in journalism. All that being said, this race is just 2 weeks out. He's coming off of a hard race in the Derby and the heavy slop. He really, where it's going to hit him? I think it's going to hit him like at the top of the stretch, at the 8th pole. I think the toll is finally going to take its toll, and I think he's going to react. I don't see a forward move. He certainly could make a forward move, and he's fast. Because if you look at all of his numbers, with the exception of his first start, any one of those races probably put him right in the thick of things here.
Yeah.
And he's now battle tested. He's coming out of a 19 horse field last time out. But all that being said, it's just an awful lot to bring a horse back on just 14 days, knowing that he was fully squeezed for his best effort on Derby Day. So if he could repeat that race, he's got a shot. He would have to make a forward move, I think, to win. And I don't think he's making the forward move. I could be dead wrong, and this could be a super horse. But you have to be a super horse to come back in 2 weeks. Listen, if you win the Derby, how many times you come back in the Preakness and don't run well and don't win? This horse didn't even win the Derby.
No.
And he's here.
So basically the odds are that we're betting against is the fact that Sovereignty would be a superstar. He's a superstar. 2 superstars went up against each other. One had a win, the other didn't. And now you're going to see another superstar win on Saturday. But the odds of that happening are just,
I mean, the field could be that bad. And listen, there's a lot of speed in the race, and it kind of sets up well for him. But all that being said, if you're not going to run, you're not going to run. If you're not going to run well, you're just not going to run well.
Yeah, that's why I'm not even putting him in my exotics myself.
Well, okay.
I mean, why not? If I'm going to say he's not going to hit, then we'll just say it,
In my opinion, he's either going to win or not hit the board. Well,
Yes.
I don't think he's going to run second either, but I used him underneath an exactas because the horse I like is, 5 or 6 to 1. So.
All right. So now the 3, D. Wayne Lucas doing it again. Keep racing. Had a 10. Now, the good thing is, if you want to break down the good side, is the fact that the horse hadn't really done a whole lot, was slowly getting better from last year to this year, had the back-to-back 15, so had the pairs working for him going into the Virginia Derby, wins the race, runs
look what happened off of those 15 minuses. Boom, a 10, and he won.
That's the 10, and then what happens after the 10? The big bounce.
And by the way, he was 7 to 1 that day. So
yeah,
we're going to do this race. I think we did the Virginia Derby.
Yeah, we did. I think and he was 12 to 1 in the Derby.
Yeah.
Well, anyway,
that's Lucas money and everything else that goes with it. I don't know.
Yeah. So is this a long shot you're willing to give a chance for, or no chance?
He's back. Another one. He's coming out of the Derby. I'm not playing horses coming out of the, not horses that ran at 29.
All right. Heart of Honor.
The truth of the matter is, by the way, he was really bothered at the start when the Baffert horse who broke from the rail came out 5 pads. So he does have a legitimate excuse for that 29. But that being said, even if he runs a 15, it's not going to be good enough.
Is there any reason? I mean, why shouldn't, I could think of somebody saying to themselves, like I am, okay, so if he had trouble like that, then how come that the number didn't give him a break? Or why did he get a 29 then?
Because that's what he ran. The trouble you have to interpret for yourself. You can't quantify trouble when you have a formula. They put the T on the sheets there to show you that there is somewhat of an excuse for the bad race.
Okay. Heart of Honor. And Heart of Honor is a horse from Dubai, I guess.
Yeah, one of those places.
The Osborne. Who were the Osbornes?
Staffy Osborne is the daughter of Jamie Osborne, who's the trainer. The problem with this horse is that he's never been on a wet track. The line is okay. He got back to the 10. He could repeat, possibly make a forward move. But again, he's never been on a track like this. And I don't like playing those Dubai horses in these races. They just never seem to run well.
Yeah, she had 210. He had 2 10s in his last 4 this year, a 13 and a 12 in between. So all that's nice. You are getting 12 to 1, and you do have an extra couple of weeks off to help you. Okay, actually a little bit more than that, almost a month off extra.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Next up is the 5 Pay Billy, and Pay Billy is 20 to 1, coming off a 12, has won 4 out of the last 5. The only non-win in that time frame was a second by a nose. The numbers this year aren't bad. 2 12s, a 10, and a 14.
I'm using this horse because this is a hometown horse. This horse lives at Laurel, which is, the sister track to Pimlico. So this horse has somewhat of a home field advantage. And I like the 10 that he ran 2 starts back. He bounced off of it to a 12. If he runs a 10, he can get in the number. He's 20-1. So I think there's value in using this horse.
Okay. Next up is the 6, River Thames. And River Thames is going to be my top choice. 9-2. You've got Pletcher and Alvarado Ortiz Jr. combo. This horse lost by a neck to Sovereignty. That was a really great race by Sovereignty, just catching River Thames at the wire in the Fountain of Youth. And that was when River Thames ran an 8, ran a 12, 11, 8. So that's all nice. But then in the Bluegrass, finishing 3rd, you got the predictable bounce to a 10. And that really made sense because if you watch the race, he was there. It's just that he didn't have anything. And East Avenue had that big lead. And then it was Burnham Square who had everything. Yeah. But this horse was in a bounce situation. So I think now with the extra time off, I think he's right up there. I think he deserves to be up there with some of the better horses. And he's got the extra time off. He's got the Pletcher Alvarado Ortiz combo. So I'm going to go with River Thames.
Well, this horse is fine. The only problem I have with him is I don't know if he could get 1 mile and 3/16. He's out of McLean's music. I don't know if they want to go that far personally. But off of number power, 10, 8, and 11 in his last 3 races, he's really never run a bad race. I'm using this horse. And by the way, this is why I'm using Pay Billy, because Pay Billy has the same 10 that this horse has. This horse, yes, ran the 8 2 starts back, but this horse is going to be a lot shorter than Pay Billy. I'm using River Thames as one of my exacta hookups.
Okay, next up is Sandman, who incredibly was 5-1. The second choice, was he? To win the Derby?
He probably was the second choice. This is the horse that it has the social media influencer that they gave 2.5% of the horse to.
See, that's what you find out.
Yeah, well, guess what? He's also coming back from the Derby.
That's right.
Has no excuses. I don't want any part of this horse.
Yeah, he didn't do anything in the Derby.
4-1 on the morning line. Are they nuts?
4-1, has never run a single-digit sheet number in his career. So because even that 12, because if you look at the line, it's 18. No, it's actually 18, 15, 13, 2 11s, a 10. So the Kentucky Derby should have been an 8 or a 7, not a 12.
Well, it was a wet track. Maybe they're going to tell you he didn't like a wet track, but I don't care. You're right. It should have been a 10 or better, and it wasn't. So I'm not interested. And there's no value. He's no value.
Valueless.
Right. He buried 3 million followers, the influencer, first time around. He really wants to piss him off and give him out again. So he's making 3 million people that may have had a chance at liking horse racing. Not going to.
That's true. Yeah. Why am I going to watch this again? All right, so now this is going to – I see Sydney Dean, Clever Again to win. Jeff Hockman on the show earlier today predicted Clever Again to win. And I have reasoned out that Jon Hardoon is picking Clever Again to win.
I am picking Clever Again to win. I really liked him a lot. The good news is that he would have taken a lot of money without journalism in the race, and he probably would have been like 3-1. But now with journalism in the race, I'm sure I'll get 7 or 8-1. And this is the horse I like. He's clean, lightly raced. It's Asmussen. They get better. They don't get worse. The 22 as a 2-year-old back in April is fine. Comes right out of the box, runs the 12 off of a layoff of over a year. Last race was without Lasix. He ran the 8. He's running an 8 or better. Yeah, if journalism runs his 5, he'll beat him. But I don't know if he's running his 5. This horse I know is running the 8. And Jose Ortiz rides. Everything is right, in my opinion.
All right, Clever Again, 5-1, coming off the 8. And it seems we've got a little bit of Clever Again trending there.
Jeff Hockman. I'm glad he found it.
That's right, Jeff. There you go. Let's see what Mark Lawrence. Mark, but go back to you're not allowed. I'm gonna call Colleen and tell her you're still screwing around watching the show. You should be in the dungeon working on the publication, Jeff. Mark. Okay. If there was concern about journalism racing for the first time outside California in the Kentucky Derby 2 weeks ago, is there a concern that 2 weeks later he is racing on the East Coast?
Oh, journal. Well, he stayed at Churchill, so it's not like he went all the way back from the West Coast. So, they kept him at Churchill, and they were going to watch him train all week. And doesn't matter. I can't play him. Not at a short price.
And he's is that like a horse that so this is normally a horse though that stable.
He lives at Santa Anita for the most part.
So he's got and also what you're saying is even though he didn't make the ride back, is having an extended trip on the East Coast.
Exactly.
Okay. So that's also something that is maybe not too good. He's getting homesick.
Yeah.
All right. He's getting homesick for those 4 or 5 horse fields.
Exactly.
See? And there goes Mark because he knew I was going to call Colleen and tattle on him. He's going back to the dungeon.
Stay incognito, Mark. He won't know you're here.
He's got to work on the guide. And that's a where is it? Here it is. This is last year's.
A free plug.
No, that's not this. That's not the one. Where is it? I got all this stuff all over the place all the time, and now I can't find it when I want it. Anyway, it is a massive guide. Oh, here it is. Here it is. And look, Andy, and look who he had. Andy Reid on the cover last year. I think he's got an eagle on the cover this year. Big surprise, right? It should be.
Yeah.
This is awesome. This got all sorts of college football, NFL stats.
Where do you get that?
You get it at bookstores. You can get it at playbooksports.com.
Wow.
But yeah, you can get these at all the top bookstores that you, I think it's at Barnes and Nobles, Mark, unless you've gone back to the dungeon. I believe so. So anyway, this is going to be available in a couple of weeks, 2 to 3 weeks. And Mark will be available back on the channel right around that time as well. Okay. The 9 is Gosger. And Gosger is a 20-1 long shot that I am definitely playing along with my top pick. I like the line 17, 15, 11. So it's sort of like what you not as fast, but around the same kind of look of Clever Again with the line. It keeps getting better. 2-point top, 4-point top, has the extra week off or so from the Lexington win. And I just think that this is a good spot for the horse. You got Brendan Walsh, you got Saez combo. And matter of fact, you said, John, let me see if I have this. If I do, it's right here. I have it available. No, maybe I don't. Anyway, there was a section because I was trying to see what we said about this race when we were doing it. And you said at the time he could win, but there's no value.
Okay.
And he wins, but the point is now he's 20-1. And all he did was run on 11, which was 4 points better than the 15 that you thought could win, but no value. Now he's getting value and coming off a win and an 11. And that's part of the reason I really like him to, hopefully hit the board.
20-1, nothing wrong with him. I could see you making the case. He's lightly raced, but so is the horse I like lightly raced. He only has 3 starts also. So.
Yeah. Well, and look, Clever Again is 5-1 over 20-1 for a reason. So hopefully they'll both come in. All right. So there you go. John, you're going to go with the 8.
Clever Again over the 2 Journalism, the 5 Pay Billy, and the 6 River Thames. 8 over the 2, 5, and 6. And Greg is going
6 over the 8 and the 9.
Ooh, I like it.
6 over the 8 and the 9. And again, like I said at the Open, no graded stakes races this upcoming week following. So let us know if there are any races out there, any particular race that you would like us to cover, and we'll give it a look-see, and hopefully it'll be a thumbs up. You got Aqueduct, you got Churchill, you got Santa Anita. So check that out. But then the week after that, it looks like it's going to be Churchill because it's the only track where you have graded stakes races. You got 4 grade 3 races at Churchill Downs.
Oh, that's before the Belmont at Saratoga.
Yeah, that's right. Not the Belmont at
Belmont, in Elmont, Long Island, but the Belmont at Saratoga, not a mile and a half. It's a mile and a quarter.
Yeah,
So
that's a downer. But that'll be a big card, not only on Saturday but on Friday. Even though it's they don't have like the same. Do they? Do they have like their own kind of Friday Philly race usually, or no?
Well, they're going to start on Wednesday, and they're going to have stake races Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Oh,
so
okay.
I'm sure there is some sort of Philly version you're going to see, but that's correct. You're going to see a week of. You don't understand. They're opening the track specifically to run the Belmont. So,
and then that's it. Then they close it again.
Then they close it till July 4th weekend when they're going to open for, I don't know. It's a mess. All they do is like to rob people. The prices are out of this world up here. It's just insane. I mean, they really, they like to squeeze the people as much as they can, and it's really not right, but that's what they do.
So there'll be 4 Grade 1 races on Friday. And then on Saturday, you've got 5 of them, including the Belmont Stakes. So that's a huge couple of days.
What do you mean? There's also stakes on Wednesday. I know for sure there's a stake on Wednesday because I know someone that has a horse in a stake on Wednesday. So
yeah, so it starts Wednesday all the way through Saturday. That's it. So it's 5 days and then back to isolation until July.
Something like that.
Okay. So again, we want to thank everybody for checking in with us. What does Jeff have to say? Yes, he does. John agrees with me on the 1. What 1? Number 1. You didn't like the 1, did you?
In what race?
No, you don't like the 1 on either race. I don't know. What are you talking about, Jeff? What number 1?
He was talking about the whipping fiasco.
Oh. Really? No, that wasn't it.
That's what I saw. I said, totally agree with John on the jockey whipping fiasco. Something has to change.
Oh, I didn't see that yet here. It wasn't posted. What else? Gosger should not be. I agree with you, Mark. Not Mark Lawrence, but Mark Lawrence.
At 20-1, believe me, I'll throw
Mark's in the dungeon, by the way, because he hasn't responded. He said it. He goes, I'm going.
He listened to you. I can't believe it.
I'll dial her up, and you'll be in trouble. And speaking of whip, there you go. Colleen has the whip, and Mark knows exactly what I'm talking about. All right, so thanks everybody for tuning in. Again, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. If you ever want to donate to the channel, you got the thanks icon on the bottom.
Subscribe.
Subscribing, that is the easiest and cheapest way to help us here grow as a channel because we've got a lot of cool stuff that we're working on behind the scenes. It's going to be a really good upcoming year for us. And we've got all sorts of stuff that we're going to let you know about real soon. And John, appreciate your time as always.
Thank you, Greg. Stay safe and be well. And thank you, everybody, for joining. These live shows are fun.
Likewise. Appreciate it. See everybody next week.